Got it. There's Harold. Yay, Harold's back. Now, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Mute,
Yes,
hopefully.
yes,
There's Harold.
great. We have sound and we have visual. Great. Thank you, Harold.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to call the meeting to order.
6:35.
And Karen, we're appointing you as a voting member this evening.
Okay.
And first up is our public hearing. And our applicant is here. So Earl, if you want to read the public hearing.
All right, October 27th, 2021 at 6:30, there'll be a public hearing concerning 622 Route 169 for a fence.
Thank you. Now, the way the public hearing works, Shannon, and I don't know if Eric's there or not, but what we'll do is we'll ask you to present your project, in this case, just your application, just describe your fence. And then we'll ask, there'll be a period where we ask questions to make sure we understand exactly what the details are. When we get to the point where we have no more questions, we open it up for any public comment, negative comment, and then positive comment, supporting comment, and then and an opportunity for you to respond. We can follow up with any additional questions. And if we're satisfied that we have all the information we need to reach a deliberation, then we will close the public hearing, at which point in time, you can stay on, the commission members will discuss and reach a decision. And the decision could be approval, rejection, or we can continue it if there's a reason we feel we need additional information. Then we will vote and render our decision.
Okay.
So for the beginnings, since this is being recorded, and I didn't do it when I started, so I'm remiss in that, we should each, if we speak, we should identify ourselves so that, and especially for you, Shannon, since you're on the phone, we'll identify ourselves as commission member so that you know who's asking you the question. And then
Okay.
after that, after we've done that initial, we're probably okay. Not if we forget to, but at least initially we'll do that. So I'm Gail Usher, and I'm the chair of the commission. And we're joined tonight by Earl Mann, Stan Swanson, Carol Ola, and Harold Bishop. So there are the five of us are the commission members for tonight. So what I'd ask
Okay.
you to do is just describe, tell us about your fence.
It's an extension of the fence that was prior approved back in May of last year, and it goes along the side lot of our back lot. Goes between our lot and the Grange, right down to the end of our property line.
And it's made of, this is a stockade fence, just like the other two sections that were approved.
Yes, stockade fence, same as before.
And about how long is this section?
How long is the section? It's about 150 feet. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
This is Earl Manns. So the extension is 150 feet or the whole fence?
The extension.
Okay, thanks.
So, and it runs north-south or south-north. So the flat side of the fence is visible from the road.
Part of it is, I guess, yeah, it's about 200 feet off of the road, so probably, yes.
Yeah.
This is Karen Ola, a commission member. So originally, that was not part of the initial approval.
No, it was
That's-
not.
That's correct. The original application was for the two sections of fence on on the north and south sides of the property that ran, and the fence ran perpendicular to the road.
We didn't think it was going to be an issue, the site of the fence, because, I mean, we have fencing that goes all the way down to the street on Rondo's side. And then we also have fencing that goes 3/4 of the way down almost to the street on the other side, on the Grange side of our house. So we never thought that it was going to be an issue to put a fence there.
It's only a matter of anything new added to a property within the district needs approval. And in the case of a historic district, it's pretty specific. So we approved the east-west running segments of your fence, but your application didn't include the north-south running section of the fence. So that's why we've asked you back, so that for deliberation on that third section of fencing.
Right. I mean, the main reason for doing the fence is for the safety of my children. You know, as an example, on Sunday, they had a function at the Grange, and there were numerous people at the function on Sunday. And you have clear vision right into my backyard. And I have small children. I have a 6-year-old, I have a 9-year-old. And it would be easy for somebody to go from the Grange parking lot to walk out into my backyard. You know, this is, you know, I mean, it's a public building, you know, and I don't want people to be walking into my backyard. I don't want people to be looking into my backyard. I want the safety of my children. That's the reason why it's up.
Oh,
Yeah, we can't see, and we can't see what goes on over on the Grange, on the other side of the Grange. There's 24 hours a day. There are people in that parking lot. They stop there. They use their cell phones. They stop there to have a cigarette. They stop there to meet other people. You know, there's functions going on all the time. There is traffic through there all the time.
Well, we appreciate your concern for the safety of your family. Commission members, do you have questions for Shannon?
This is Earl again. I was wondering what the purpose was, but that seems to be a very reasonable explanation.
Karen Ola, commissioner member. I was just wondering why it hadn't been done originally, but I could see why you must have just thought that the boundary was there, so you're going to put it up.
This is Stan. I have no questions beyond what has been answered so far.
Harold Bishop, I have no questions as it's been described.
All right. And it is, I've driven past any number of times, and it's the exact same height and construction as the existing sections of fence that we approved in the spring or late winter 2021. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to comment on, Shannon?
The only thing I have is just that everybody that we have talked to has said nothing but compliments on everything that we've done to the property. The house, the fence, everything that we've done has got nothing but compliments and praises for how we've brought it up and made it look better and make it look nicer for the area. I mean, you know, we're trying to, you know, slowly we're trying to make it look better and make it look nicer than what it was when we purchased the place.
Yeah, everybody appreciates when residents really work, especially new residents, new people coming in, work to improve the properties. And also, you know, we appreciate the fact that back in the late winter, you came to us for, you submitted an application for approval for the sections of fence. This one's, this was just an omission has
Right.
with, so that understandable, and we're just in to correct the omission. All right,
Okay.
at this point, then, I open the public hearing up to any public comment. I don't hear any. All right, so commission members, do we have sufficient information to deliberate on the application?
I do.
Stan does.
Karen does.
I do.
All right, great. Then I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll
Earl,
move.
who was that, Stan?
Stan,
Dan,
yeah.
I'll second Earl.
all right, all in favor?
I,
All right, that was unanimous approval.
Yep.
So, all right, so at this point, that's just commission members discussing it. Anybody, any comments, anyone?
Stan does. Given the distance from the road, which she mentioned was 200 feet, more or less, and the issues with the Grange, it reminds me of Patrick's issues with the church up there and the parking lot being filled with trespassers and monkeying around. And given the amount of traffic at the Grange and her safety issues, I have no problem with her putting that fence in.
I agree. This is Earl.
Okay,
I agree too.
This is
And-
Karen, and I agree also. I don't think with having small children, you need to have public awareness or what's going on in the backyard.
yeah, I think safety is very important. And also, as I said, if you've driven up past the fence, it's just an extension of the existing fence. It just runs parallel instead of perpendicular to the road. It's back far enough. It's not intrusive in terms of changing into the character defining features of the district. And there, even though it's a long, where I think we're approving about 150 feet or whatever the full length of that parallel section is, there is less, most of it, a good percentage of it is hidden behind the Grange. So there's a smaller section of it that one can actually see from the road. So it doesn't appear to be intrusive at all. So, all right, then I'm looking for a motion on this application.
I move to approve as presented. This is Earl.
Okay, is there a second?
I will second it. This is Karen.
Thanks, Karen. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
I mean,
I
Aye.
approve.
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
that's unanimous approval.
Okay.
Then, all right, so Shannon, that's application then is approved. And I
very much.
will sign it and put it back and sign, and I'll put your copy in the mail to you and file the town copy with the building inspector. And
Okay.
you're all set for that.
Great, thank you.
And I appreciate you coming back and taking the time to sort of, this dots the i's and crosses the t's for the fence. Now,
Yep.
we do have one more thing since you're here. Stan, do you want to talk about the driveway?
well, I noticed that blacktop driveway been put in, and I don't remember that coming before the commission.
So what I'd like to ask is, did you recently, sometime in the past year or so, redo your driveway? Resurface your driveway?
Yeah.
Okay, what was it before?
It was overgrown asphalt. I mean, I can get a statement from the person that did the driveway to say that he actually dug up asphalt. It was all overgrown with dirt and grass.
Okay,
And there was definitely asphalt, and the asphalt went all the way around the house. So if I need to get some sort of documentation or something for you,
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
So which, and So what you've done is you re-asphalted a section or the whole thing?
The whole thing, what was asphalted before.
You've redone it.
It was asphalted from the street next to Rondo's all the way around the house to the Grange
Okay.
side of the house, the whole thing, the whole horseshoe.
And then,
Yeah, it
so
was
all,
poorly done. It was all broken up and it was all cracking. It was old.
Mhm. So it's basically, if I'm understanding correctly, and Stan and Harold, maybe you can, make sure I'm not expressing this incorrectly, but you took what was there and that was all overgrown, and just replaced it with the same, only new.
Yes, we replaced it with the same. There was asphalt down that was all overgrown, and we just replaced it with more asphalt. There's actually still asphalt out in my yard from where the original driveway was.
Okay.
Right where it is, along the edges of the new asphalt. You can still see it.
And you kept the same configuration, kept the same pattern.
Yes,
Okay.
the same pattern. Yep, we kept the same pattern, yes.
Stan, are you all right with that?
Yeah, I mean, since it was so overgrown, I actually had pulled in there at the beginning of their project. And I really don't remember. Thought it was gravel because that's really all you could see. I'm fine with
Yeah,
her
I
word
think the
that it
gravel
was
was asphalt.
asphalt before, but
All right.
Yeah, no,
So-
it was definitely asphalt underneath. It was gravel and it was all overrun and stuff.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
at this
you
point
notice
for me,
the whole
it's just dotting the Ts again and the crossing the Is.
Yeah, oh, no, I understand. I don't have a problem. That's fine.
And
Yeah.
so if it is replacing just like for like, only a 20-year-old something with a brand new surface, then an application is not necessary.
Okay.
So you're good to go.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, so we always take, as people we work with, that are relatively new to the community, just remind you that if you make changes in, say, if you had changed the design of the driveway, then that would have required a certificate of appropriateness. Then you would have had to make an application. So it's changes
Right.
it's changes in materials that
Right.
require applications, as long as whatever you're doing is technically visible from the road.
Okay. Yep, no, not a problem. No, it was asphalt to asphalt, so
Yep.
that's why I didn't think it needed to be brought to your attention.
You're absolutely correct. That's, but we don't, sometimes things like driveway surfaces and there's so many parts of a property that we don't all have a fresh memory of what was. And
Right, no,
it's-
I understand.
Yeah, so we
And
appreciate.
it was definitely overgrown.
Well, we appreciate you coming tonight to get everything all squared away. And you're all set. So thank
All
you very
right.
much and have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
All right.
Thank
bye.
you.
All right. Review of minutes. I believe we have two sets of minutes to approve. One is the July 28th set and the other is the August 25th minutes.
Yep.
Everybody have a chance to at least take a quick look at them.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes,
All right. If everybody's, I'll take a motion. We'll do the July 28th first, a motion to approve July 28th.
This is Karen. I make a nomination to approve the minutes of July 28th.
I thank you, Karen. Is there a second?
Stan seconds.
Very good. Is there any discussion, anything that needs to be corrected?
No,
All right, hearing none, then all in favor of approving the
Aye.
July
Aye.
28th minutes? Aye,
Aye.
unanimous approval. Next is the August 25th minutes, and when everybody's ready, I'll take a motion to approve the August 25th minutes.
Earl, I make a motion to approve.
They're your own minutes, Earl.
I know, I'm moving to approve them.
You can.
Okay, this is Karen. I'll move to approve the August minutes.
Great, thank you, Karen. Is there a second?
Stan will second it.
Very good. Is there any discussion?
No,
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. Correspondence, aside from communication with Shannon and Eric Martin, there was no correspondence. Public comments. This is a chance for anybody, member of the public, to make any kind of any comments. Nope. All right. Project consultations. If somebody has another project that they're thinking about, or would like some advice or on, nope. All right. Old business meeting format. So we have been meeting, thank you everybody, with using Zoom. Many of the committees in town and commissions in town are going back to in-person meetings. We have the option to continue with Zoom, and we can stop that at any time we're comfortable stopping, or we can go back to in-person meetings. We just, if we wish to continue with Zoom for however long, we just need to have voted on it and decided can do that, and I just need to notify the town that we're going to continue meeting with Zoom. And I'll lead this off by saying I prefer Zoom, at least through the winter months.
Yeah, I'm fine. This is Earl. I'm fine with Zoom.
This is Karen and Gail. Yes, I prefer Zoom.
Okay.
all right. Stan's good with it at least through the winter because the weather's coming up and I know Gail's worried about Jeff. And every time I look at the weather on my phone, it tells how many new COVID deaths there are for the day in Connecticut. And it ranges everywhere from 0 up to 20 something. So let's just keep it the way it is for now.
Okay.
I'm
Al?
okay with Zoom too, so.
All right, then I'm gonna just say I'd like a consensus. I don't think we need to vote so much as a consensus that, so hands up that you agree that for the time being, we're gonna continue with Zoom.
Yep.
Great, then that's a unanimous consensus there.
Yep.
Earl? Good. Next order of old business I had on the agenda was sidewalk. The sidewalk across the main section of the hill is really deteriorating. The winter is gonna probably really play havoc with it. We've discussed this before. I think it's going to reach a point where it's becoming enough that really the condition of it is gonna force some kind of action to fix it. I walked it with the circuit rider and Mike Farino, and then I did some research and we determined that the current concrete aggregate sections were put in the early 1900s, sometime before 1930. After 1910, so some in that 20-year range between 1910 and 1930. And, you know, this is just mainly a discussion that says, saying that I think it behooves us as a commission, since it's a huge character defining feature of the district, to be ahead of things and thinking about how we're going to handle potential temporary patches versus a long-term project, because to really fix this sidewalk is going to involve dealing with all the shallow rooted maple trees that are all along the road. And I'm not sure, you know, and it's going to involve an engineering consultant probably, and it's going to be a bigger project. And most likely, if the town is going to temporarily fix it, they're going to do something like they did in front of Roseland, which is just put down some, take up the bad sections and put down some asphalt, which would be, to my mind, would be considered a temporary fix, something that could be removed, but wouldn't be a permanent solution, since it's would make the sidewalk more of an eyesore. And also, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, say Harold and Stan, got the deeper construction knowledge. Asphalt just doesn't stand up to tree roots and cracking and water and freezing and thawing that well.
Well, nothing really does, but usually a concrete sidewalk has a gravel base underneath it to help with drainage, and that's never done with asphalt. So.
Right.
Whose property is that? State, town, private owners?
It is within the state's right of way.
Because the state put in that little handicap doohickey at the crossing by the church.
Right, right.
Right.
So, yeah, the maps show the state has a right of way all the way up to the line of trees. It's a massive, that road is wide now, but it was much wider earlier. So it would be a state project, and we all know how involved that would be. We can only imagine actually how involved that would be. And the town would probably try and would do something fast to patch certain sections, like in front of 518, for example, where it's really roughed up. Which is why I'm saying my guess is that there's going to be a need come springtime for something temporary until some serious funding can be located to do or convincing in terms of the state to do the bigger project.
Well, the sidewalk up by Roseland is pretty hard by the road, but when you get down around the Brazils and the Chases and whatnot, isn't there a wider grass thing between the sidewalk and the road?
There is.
And couldn't you move the sidewalk a little closer to the road and not have to deal with so many tree roots?
There's lots of possible solutions, I'm guessing, that would involve, that probably are going to involve an engineer. And the circuit riders are looking into some potential funding so that when it becomes an issue that's brought to the town, that we perhaps can offer advice for opportunities for funding to do it right.
Well, I know my concern is, I know when my mother was living with me last year, she had a walker and she could not walk that at all.
Right.
And 3 houses down from me is a family that has a child who is physically handicapped. They have a large stroller, and that's almost impossible for them to walk safely on that road. Those are my concerns. So I think that we have to consider the future. It's only going to get worse.
Yes, yeah. And there are, there's a fast solution, a fast fix that's really only a temporary fix. And then there's a better solution to it that probably involves, with any luck, could involve traffic calming measures and extension of the sidewalks.
Mhm.
And additional features. So it's just something that I know there's at least one person that might start to bring it up to the town. And so I wanted us to be aware of it, looking for things, thinking about it. Because as I said, it's a significant character defining feature of the district. And so,
Okay, if it's state property, wouldn't it be wise to get whoever represents this district in the state legislature to kind of start helping us out here? You got students using this sidewalk, elderly people using it, a lot of liability. I would think the state rep would be a good resource.
the good resource, and what I wanted to do was get the state preservation, the circuit riders, thinking about it a little bit, to be able
Sure.
to think about how
Sure.
what preservation funds might be available that would tie in with some other things. Connecticut has something that's called a community connectivity program that gives money. It's a grant program. Money goes to towns for sidewalks and public transport to make the community more safer and more connected. So that might be something that could be applied for. And my guess is the ultimate project would be a melding of several funding sources to be able to pay for it. This connectivity program does not pay for the engineering that would an engineering consultant, but it would pay to put it in. So it's probably a matter of money overlap, of putting money together, stitching money together. But I think it just felt that it was something that, one, we needed to have more in the front of our memory, of our minds, and also to attempt to get ahead of before we're forced into making a decision that might be detrimental to the district.
This is Earl. Are there any legal issues that, federal discrimination against handicapped, or that might really force our hand or force the town's hand?
I have no information that I wouldn't know about that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the state representative could look into
Yeah.
that. I mean, if someone trips and falls,
Oh, yeah, and
the
it's, yes.
town could be liable. I don't know.
The town could, the state could, who knows?
Yeah.
It's hard to know which
Yeah,
and who, but
Right.
but it's, and that's really not, I don't think it's a piece that we would be considered about, but what we need to be considered about is how, if it becomes an immediate issue, how we facilitate the best solution, or at least a good temporary solution.
Yep.
And then think about, can we as the commission be an important help, an important guide for a really good long-term solution.
Right.
What updated codes are required to improve this and so forth? What are the new codes involved in the replacement of a existing sidewalk like this?
In terms of historic district codes, or in terms of basic town or state codes?
Both.
Okay, so in terms of the district, the circuit rider said that while optimally you try and replace the sections you take out, you would replace with similar, as close as you could get to similar sections of the historic material. However, because of it being a public way, then the rules are flexible, and in fact, and public safety weighs in, because, and he even went as far as to say that you could, to help with people walking at night, since there's no real streetlights up and down the road, one might consider embedding little solar chips. He's seen another sidewalk that was put down with little solar chips in it that illuminated at night, illuminated the path of the sidewalk, so people walking at night could, make sure they stayed on the path. And that, because it's about public safety, that you would end up with a sympathetic design to the integrity of the district, and at the same time, some sort of future thinking improvements to it that really deal with the safety for the residents. So, and in terms of what's required, I don't know specific state or town sidewalk composition requirements. So,
Okay.
so, but that's a good point, Harold, and I will look into that and just report back to everybody.
Again, I would think the state rep, and does the town have an engineer or consulting engineer for the town, or?
I'm sure there's somebody who's the town's, it should be noted that the town's last solution to the sidewalk breaking up was to put down that really awful section of asphalt in front of Roseland and down towards the McClellans.
So they were in violation of their own district commission.
Potentially, I don't know when it was. I don't know if they were before us. Who, chicken or egg, I'm not sure who came first. But I'll do a little, I just wanted to let you know, I'll talk further with the circuit rider and also explore some additional options, taking your suggestions on board. Thank you for being thoughtful about that.
Okay.
Patrick, welcome. Or not? I see Pat's here.
He's here, but he may be muted.
He is muted.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have any old business?
No.
No. All right. And I have no new business. Does anybody have any new business?
No,
I do
Oh.
not.
I do have one piece of old business that I
Okay.
should have done. We talked before about Karen stepping in as a regular member. And Karen submitted her resignation as an alternate member, which we had accepted. So what we need to do is just accept that provisional on her appointment as a regular member by the selectmen. So she'll remain an alternate until we get the notice that the selectmen have accepted her resignation and then appointed her as a regular member.
good.
So I guess we don't even need a motion. I'll just say, Karen, we accept your resignation as an alternate member, conditional on its acceptance by the selectmen and their appointment of you as a regular member. And I've sent that Karen's resignation letter, and I sent my letter stating that we had accepted it and approved her resignation, and that we were wanted her appointed as a regular member, and that went on to the selectman's office. And I have no idea, sometime at one of their next meeting, it may come up at the next one or maybe the one after that, but my guess is by the end of November,
Okay,
I'll receive word, and you will as well, that you're a regular member.
okay, great.
So thank you for that. All right, back to new business. Anybody have anything to bring up?
I do not.
I
Do not
don't.
know. I do not.
I don't.
All right. Then hearing nothing, then I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Also move, Stan.
I'll
Ready?
second Earl.
Second, Earl. All right. All in favor?
I,
Bye.
Unanimous?
7:15. Very
All
good.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good to see you. Have a
Yep.
safe Halloween. Don't eat too much candy.
And we have a meeting in November, right?
Pardon
We
me?
only buy candy that no one likes in the house.
We have a meeting in November?
We do have a meeting in November. Hi, Pat.
Hi,
Hi,
Pat.
Pat.
sorry about that.